Hare Krishna. So let me know if you can hear me and see the screen as well.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. So we'll do the phone. Hare Krishna. So let me know if you can hear me. See. Satish Prabhu, would you like to continue reading from 4353?
Yes, from 43. Yes.
I'll go on mute one sec.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. My dear Lord, you are the supreme controller of the worker, sense activities, and the results of sense activities, karma. Therefore, you are the controller of the body, mind, and senses. You are also you are also the supreme controller of egoism, known as Rudra. You are the source of knowledge and the activities of the Vedic injunctions. My dear Lord, I wish to see you exactly in the form that you are very dear to, that your very dear devotees worship. You have many other forms, but I wish to see your form that is especially liked by the devotees. Please be merciful upon me and show me that form, for only that form worshipped by the devotees can perfectly satisfy all the demands of the senses. The Lord's beauty resembles a dark cloud during the rainy season. As the rainfall glistens, his bodily features also glisten. Indeed, he is the sum total of all beauty. The Lord has four arms and an exquisitely beautiful face with eyes like lotus petals, a beautiful, highly raised nose, a mind-attracting smile, a beautiful forehead, and equally beautiful and fully decorated ears. The Lord is super excellently beautiful on account of his open and merciful smile and his sidelong glance upon his devotees. His black hair is curly and his garments waving in the wind, appearing like flying saffron pollen from lotus flowers. His glittering earrings, shining helmet, bangles, garland, ankle belts, waist belt, and various other bodily ornaments combined with conch shell, disc, club, and lotus flower to increase the natural beauty of the Kaustubha pearl on his chest. The Lord has shoulders just like a lion's. Upon the shoulders are garlands, necklaces, and epaulets, and all of these are always glittering. Besides these, there is a beauty of the Kaustubha money pearl, and on the dark chest of the Lord, there are streaks named Srivatsa, which are signs of the goddess of fortune. The glittering of these streaks excels the beauty of the golden streaks on the gold on a gold testing stone. Indeed, such beauty defeats a gold testing stone. The Lord's abdomen is beautiful due to the three ripples in the flesh. Being so round, his abdomen resembles the leaf of a banyan tree, and when he exhales and inhales, the movement of the ripples appears very, very beautiful. The coils within the navel of the Lord are so deep that it appears that the entire universe sprouted out of it and yet again wishes to go back. The lower part of the Lord's waist is dark and covered with yellow garments and is built embedded with golden embroidery work. His symmetrical lotus feet and the camel's thighs and joints of his legs are extraordinarily beautiful. Indeed, Prabhuji, last line. Indeed, yeah, 51 last line, Prabhuji. Sorry. Indeed, yeah. Indeed, the Lord's entire body appears to be well built. My dear Lord, your two lotus feet are so beautiful that they appear like two blossoming petals of the lotus flower, which grows during the autumn season. Indeed, the nails of your lotus feet emanate such a great effulgence that they immediately dissipate all the darkness in the heart of a conditioned soul. My dear Lord, kindly show me that form of yours which always dissipates all kinds of darkness in the heart of a devotee. My dear Lord, you are the supreme spiritual master of everyone. Therefore, all conditioned souls covered with the with the darkness of ignorance can be enlightened by you as the spiritual master. My dear Lord, those who desire to purify their existence must always engage in meditation upon your lotus feet as described above. Those who are serious about executing their occupational duties and who want freedom from, from fear must take to this process of Bhakti Yoga. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. No, you can go on mute and- Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Sadish Prabhu. How was it?
Yes, Prabhuji, very nice, Prabhuji. In Vishnu Sahasranamam, they describe, there's an opening scene where they say the Lord wants the garlands. It kind of typically, narrates the same thing, Prabhuji. So
Yeah.
I felt very blissful. Thank you, Prabhuji, for giving this opportunity.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Do let me know if others can hear me.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. So, Ram Raghav Prabhu, would you like to take it from here, or if you're
Yes, sure,
prepared?
Prabhu. Yes. From 52 onwards.
Yeah. No.
54.
No, I'm asking, would you like to elaborate on from 43 to 53?
Oh, no, sorry, Prabhuji. Not that prepared.
Okay. Yeah, maybe in case if you want to add something during the session,
Yeah.
yeah, feel free.
Sure, Prabhuji.
ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकथां मह्यं ददति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलान् श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणरघुनाथान्वितां तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाख अन्वितांश्च ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नाम्ने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादेशतारिणे वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमोस्तुते तप्ता कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी ऋषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिय। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Okay. Give me one more second, please. Give me one moment. If I find it, I don't know. I can see it. Let me. Hare Krishna, I'm back. Let me know if you can hear me.
Yeah.
You can see. Yes, Mother.
Recording is there. I need to start the stream. Streaming is also going on. Yes. Perfect. So, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayana Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudhirayet Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavat Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Satish Babu, thank you very much for reading. These are wonderful prayers. If we see from the last week, we were discussing about the Chaturvyu, expansion of the Lord. Maybe we can sit here. And in that context, we have learned that Lord expands in many forms. Lord expands in many forms, and in one way it is so nice because everyone can worship Him in the way that he can understand Him. He can try to conceive Him. In all this sense, it's fine. But interestingly, from here, from this verse number 43, we can see Lord Shiva is aspiring for something else to see. And the verse is starting already saying, the before one was Namasta Asitam Isa Manave Karanatmane Namo Dharmaya Brahate Krishnaya Ankuta Medhase. So, and from there, it goes more in now saying like Shakti Traya Sametaya. So he's saying that you are the supreme controller of the work, sense activities and results of sense activities. Therefore, you are the controller of the body, mind and senses. This is very important clue for us, at least impetus for us, that why we should take shelter of the Supreme Lord, because he is a controller of everything, including our body. While we are talking that the Lord gives us full free will, what is this full free will is that, we can take a decision, but still, in order that we take a right decision, in order that we do right acts, in order that we use our senses, still these are your controller of the body, mind and senses. You're also the supreme controller of egotism, known as Rudra. And they are the source of knowledge and activities of Vedic injunction. So this is very, very important for us to understand. Why? Because our as we were no from me fine as we were discussing, a big challenge for us is about this egotism. Egotism is our so to say our biggest enemy. Why it is our enemy is the main thing is we tend to start identify ourselves with this body, and when we are identifying ourselves with this body, then everything is actually falling down. Not falling in a place, but actually falling down from the original place. When we talk, maybe you can sit up. So, so Lord Shiva is trying to purify false egotism through the mercy of the Supreme Lord. If we ask who has ego problems, if I ask raise your hands, then obviously every one of us will raise our hands. Interestingly, who raises hands are admitting, and who do not raise hands are not just admitting. But there is always this sense of false ego, because we have been thinking that I understood something, and as soon as when it's shaken, then immediate challenge is that, if that is the case, I'm not able to accept it. Whether we accept it or not, whether we admit or not, the false ego in us is so deep, and the way if we can get freedom from that, it is possible through the shelter, by taking the shelter the supreme person of Godhead. Like Lord Shiva is saying, you are also the supreme controller of egotism. These are the words of Lord Shiva. And you are the source of knowledge and activities of Vedic injunction. So in this verse, we get very clear understanding that we know this tamasoma jyotirgamaya. It is all because of the ignorance. We are in the darkness. This egotism which is also because of illusion, because of ignorance. So the Lord is the one who can give protection. Okay. And not only that, Lord is also is a source of that knowledge through which we can enlighten. It's not just, okay, just imagine, yeah, Satish Prabhu, you don't know swimming. I don't know whether you know or not,
No.
but you are drowning in the water. So Lord is pulling you out. This is one thing, is already giving shelter, but He is also giving you the knowledge of how to swim. We just have to join some course and learn some swimming. So in the spiritual world, everything would be natural. Everything would be natural. Everything would have been right act. Yeah, the body, mind, and senses. Yeah, when we are talking about this body, we are not talking about this material body. We are talking about the spiritual body, because everyone has a spiritual body, and through that spiritual body, which means we are also person. With that, we are able to offer service to the Lord. When it comes to the um, material body, we can understand, okay, now we are in this world, we call it as Bhavasagar. In this Bhavasagar, we don't know how to swim. Great experts have already tried. By their own, they cannot win. We have tried so many times. But have we tried the way that Lord Shiva is directing us? He is taking shelter of the Lord. Have we tried that? And if we take the shelter of the Lord, we can see everything falling in right place. Not just falling down, but falling in the right place. What does it mean when we are saying down? There is also some beauty in it. Yeah? When we sing down, we say bow down. When we bow down, then only we are humble. When we are not bowing down, then what is happening? Yeah, we are always cool. Yeah, if there is no problem tomorrow, I can do it day after tomorrow, next year. But when we fall down at the feet of the Lord, these things, first is a protection is given. We all want protection. We all want protection. Oh, everyone is trying to get protection so that they can be fearless. Protection means what? We become fearless. Because, okay, someone is there who is taking care of me. Just like a child. A child feels very protected in his parents. As soon as the parents are not there, then he starts becoming worried. Who is going to take care of me? He's not worried about who takes care of parents. Similarly, because our understanding is, we are at least right now thinking about what about me, and the best approach is to take shelter of the Lord. So here, Lord Shiva is saying, when we see the impersonalist pure egotism is aham brahmasmi. Aham brahmasmi means I am spiritual. Brahman, usually we see that, oh, Brahman, sometimes we think as, oh, Lord Brahma, aham brahmasmi, okay, I am also God. No, we are part and parcel of the Lord, and which means aham brahmasmi means I'm spirit soul. But in its actual position, the spirit soul has devotional. One second. One second. So this understanding is very important. Aham brahmasmi. Therefore, Lord Shiva prays to be engaged both in mind and in action in the devotional service of the Lord according to the direction of Vedas. So it is not that I want to become a devotee, but I create my own way. That is again a sense of egotism. Because when we think that there is also later verses that will come to explain what does this mean. For now, we need to very carefully understand that bhakti means surrendering. Bhakti means actually to take shelter. Bhakti indeed means that I will accept what Lord says, to follow, to apply, to implement, to achieve success. And this all depends on what? The knowledge in the form of Vedas. Yeah. So without perfect knowledge, one cannot act perfectly. This is very, very important. Why are we studying so much? So that we can attain perfection. We are studying, reading, acquiring. All the goal is to become what? Perfect. Number one, isn't it? Okay, maybe I'm not number one. At least I want to be in the top. Huh? So I want to be in the topper list, and then for a good reason. What do you want? Okay. Okay. So I want to be a topper for a good reason. Yeah, of course, I want to become perfect. If that is the goal of life, I want to be perfect. So I'm doing my best. There is no harm. But can I do it all by myself? Am I good enough for doing all myself? Hmm. Because we are affected by the four imperfections of what are that? Being illusioned. Sometimes there is illusion. Sometimes propensity to commit cheating. We want to cheat others, so that's why we may not understand properly. So in this way, there are these other reasons to which we may not become perfect. The best way is to actually take shelter of Vedas to understand the perfect knowledge, and because these are coming from the Supreme Lord, definitely these are perfect. It's not like okay, someone is injecting us, somewhere someone is intercepting our understanding or someone's understanding. No, it is very clear that this is coming from the time when we are put in this world. Yeah. So without perfect knowledge, one cannot act perfectly. The real source of knowledge is Vacha. This Vacha is the Vedic instructions. Again, there are a lot of books. Yeah. If you go into library, not even library. The other day I was in Hyderabad where I wanted to buy one book, Panchangam. We know that where we check all the best times and all this. There are 10 varieties of the same. Now which one is right? Or there are so many books. There are so many books already there. Uh, Even if you talk about Manusmriti, there are so many books. If you talk about Mahabharata, there are so many books. Bhagavatam, there are so many books. But how do you know that I did understand this as it is? First of all, the book should be as it is. That itself is a big challenge. Otherwise, why there are so many books? Everyone is claiming that I am as it is, right? Yeah, when we carefully read, then we can see where things slip in between. We may think, oh, no, great acharyas have written. Yes, definitely. But then we have to understand, is it written by a devotee of the Lord? Is it coming from the parampara? Hmm? The real source of knowledge is vacha, given by the Vedic instructions. Here, the word vacha, vibration, means the Vedic vibration. The origin of creation is sound vibration. And if the sound vibration is clear and purified, perfect knowledge and perfect activities actually become manifest. This is enacted by the chanting of Maha Mantra Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. But how much faith do we have in this chanting? When we say the holy name is the one, is the source and is ultimately the shelter, how many of us can understand it, accept it, and really take it serious? Yeah, like any other thing, how we have initially we give some faith into something, and then when we try, we we can understand that our life changes for good. And then if it didn't change, uh, we don't want to give it up. Why? Because there could be something that I didn't do properly. Let me try it, checking with someone who for whom it worked. Hmm? Tattvadarshi means he has already realized Supreme. We have to approach him, we can ask him, and he can guide us. Thus, Lord Shiva is praying again and again for the purification of the body, mind, and activities through the purification of knowledge and action under the pure directions of the Vedas. Lord Shiva prays to the Supreme Lord so that his mind, senses, and words will all turn towards devotional activities only. This is again in itself very important. Lord Shiva, yeah, we may say during the days of Lord Shiva, there is no iPhone. During the days of Lord Shiva, there is no internet. During his time, there is no all these things. They don't need all these things. Why? Because they know what happened in the past, they know what happens in the future. For us, because we don't know, that's why we are relying on internet, what happened in the history. We Google it, or we are just using some tools like Gen AI and all these things so that we can think what could come as an option for future. They know everything, they don't need that. And in spite of knowing everything, they're not claiming patents that, hey, I know everything. You should not know this. Rather, they are here. Lord Shiva is showing as soon as when the sons of Prachina Barhi, Prachetas came in an opportunity to uh, offer penances to please Lord Vishnu, Lord Shiva is very much pleased, and then he offered a good piece of advice. What is that? Take to the Lord with due respect for what? For with mind, body, and ego. Sorry, body, mind, and senses. Thank you. With body, mind, and senses, engage in what? In devotional service. When we engage ourselves in devotional service with body, mind, and senses, and the words will all turn toward devotional activities. This is what we see. And from the next verse, we see Lord Shiva, after he is just saying, Darshanam no, Didrikusham, Dehi Bhagavatarchitam. So, Rupam Priyatam Swanam Sarvendriya Gunanjanam. We know we have heard Anjan, what is it called? Amurt Anjan. Anjan is an ointment. When we have pains, when we have ache, what we are doing, we are taking some balm or some ointment, applying it so that that can give us relief. And here, what is this? This verse is very, very nice. When we remember this verse and when we visit a temple, we are blessed. Why? Because it's saying, Darshanam no, Didrikshunam. This darshan of you is very, very powerful. Why? It is Didrikshunam, means we know Drikshun, impetus, a direction. Didrikshunam means desiring to see. Oh Lord, darshanam of you is so desirable to see. Why? It offers great benefits. Dehi Bhagavatarchitam. Why? He is saying, my dear Lord, I wish to see you exactly like how, not any form. Yeah, we were talking about Aniruddha, we were talking about Pradyumna, Sankarshana. What is the third? Vasudeva. These four forms, yeah, where Lord Shiva was already praying, and sun god, Soma, and all. No, Lord Shiva is asking, I would like to have your darshan. May Lord, that darshan which is visible, which you offer to the devotees. Yeah, he's not just saying, okay, I want to see. Yeah, people come up with so many things, right? Hey, when I'm saying come to temple, what is there in the temple? Nature is God. So let me go, and there are nice Alps here, nice there, or this tree, this, that. So many people will say so many things. Yeah, indeed, they are also Lord. Yeah, there is no question of it that it's not. But we see here Lord Shiva is saying that I would like to have darshan of you exactly like how devotees. Yeah, you are offering. You are not going to show your real form to anyone and everyone. You are going to show your real form only to the devotees. And I'm just requesting, I'm pleading that I can have that kind of darshan, because that is the perfection of darshan. And in this purport, Prabhupada gives many things. Very interestingly, he says that the senses are always eager to see something, right? Our body, our senses are always eager to see something. But here he says, Lord, but I wish to see your form that is especially liked by the devotees. Please be merciful upon me and show me that form. For only that form worshipped by devotees can perfectly satisfy the demands of all senses. In the previous verse, we were talking about the body, mind, and senses. How can that be satisfied? Ultimately, we are saying practice bhakti, but if I don't have taste, how does it work? In this, we see Lord Shiva is saying that if one have executed bhakti, which is very much dependent on other factors, which we will see here, our senses are our disturbing factors, right? Otherwise, we would just, who wants to sleep? Yeah, now everyone says, I want to sleep. But just imagine that if we can be successful without sleeping, then okay. But how to get there? We don't want to use our senses only for our own comforts, our own enjoyments, but we want to use our senses so that we can please the Lord. Rishikena Rishikesha. So by engaging our senses in the service of Rishikesh, Rishikesh means the master of the senses, the controller of the senses. That is the purpose of our senses, so that we can fully devote ourselves in the service. Yeah, in the Shrutis it is saying that the supreme absolute truth is Sarva Kama, Sarva Gantha, Sarva Rasa. Or in other words, he is Rasovai Saha. Means he is the source of all relationable relationships. We really are eager to get best of a relationship. Whether it is parental relation, whether it is conjugal relation, whether it is friendly relation. In all this, we want to get best. Uh, but where is this? What is the source of such relationships? The source is actually coming from the source. Who is that? Supreme source, Krishna. Because of he is there, from him all these relationships are there. As a devotee, one can become a friend of the Lord, one can become parent of the Lord, one can become his friend. So in that way, so all these relationships are actually the original sources are there. And then we have the senses. Our senses are power of seeing. Uh, we are able to see things, and sense of taste, smell, touch, etc. And all the propensities of our senses can be satisfied when the senses are engaged in the service of the Lord. Narada Pancharatra is saying, yeah, Rishikena Rishikesh Sevan Bhaktir Uchyate. Bhaktir Uchyate means one can attain the success when we engage our senses in serving the Lord. And Bhakti means engaging all senses in the service of the master of the senses, Rishikesh. And how can we do that? Sarvopadi Vinir Muktam. Sarva Upadi Vinir Muktam. Muktam, not just Vinir Muktam, get free from all Sarva Upadis. Upadi, we see that Sarva Upadi means that I am thinking that I am father, I am thinking that I am mother. Indeed, of course, I am father, I am mother, all these things are there. But are these the primary? Ultimately, when we talk about responsibilities, hey, come on, why are you talking like a renunciant, or why are you talking very detached? No, ultimately, we are not talking a detached language. We are talking about understanding which comes first. Just imagine a South Indian meal. It has a platter of everything, but you would not just start taking only curd, right? You will start taking right from the first, what do you call it, starter to the dessert. It's not the other way. Why? Because we know what is the order, what is the scientific purpose of it, and etc. And similarly, when we talk about ourselves, when we talk about relationship, always we prioritize the relationship that we see with our eyes, that we hear with our ears, that we smell. All these things, we are just correlating through our senses. Why? And that is making us to believe that I am this, I am that. For example, have you heard about there are people who are in big catering companies? They ask you, hey, can you come and taste how did we make it? Or they ask, hey, this is the wine which is very old. Then you are paid for tasting it.
Chocolate.
Yeah. So then there is a title for it. I forgot what is that. I don't know. Experts in the online can say, what is it called? That you are expert of tasting the best wine, so you are paid for knowing that, and that is your upadhi now. That is your designation. And you in your company, you are designated as so and so title, that you are Satish, who is head of Gen AI and all. And then, yeah, isn't it false? No, it's true. But it is true in a false world. The world where we are, all these are just designations which are not of something base. When we went through this wonderful pastime of Jada Bharat, yeah, he said, Rahugan, king, you are king in this life. I am your servant. What about tomorrow? Things can change, that I can become the king and you can become my servant. What is the reality of this upadhi? Maybe for a feel, because now, have you seen any military army where if you achieve something, they'll put some stars or some badge, or I don't know. Huh?
Yes.
What? How long it will stay with him? As long as he is there, maybe his family will remember. Is that the real upadhi? No. Why? With that, we are able to deal our life. That is fine. But what is that about dealing with the Lord? Because that is our real life. In this life, if I'm just thinking, I am a father, I am mother, and all these designations are secondary. What we do is we think these are primary. That's why what we do, our first priority is as per whatever is there, just follow as it is. That's what we think. But what Lord Shiva is saying, Sarva Upadir Vinirmuktam, Sarva Upadi, give up all these designations which are only trouble, not to accept Krishna, the Supreme, not to accept the Lord as Master. Huh? Because before Rishikena Rishikesha, in order that we can serve a Lord, what should happen? Huh? Rishikena Rishikesh Sevanam Bhakti Ruchyate. One can attain bhakti by serving, because otherwise our body, mind, and senses are carried away by these interests. We can become free only when we take to this process of what? Sarvapadi Vinirmuktam. When we give up all these things, then the propensity of enjoying is decreasing. And when these decrease, then we can practice bhakti as direct means. Lord Shiva therefore wants to see the Lord in a form which is inconceivable to Buddha philosophies. He is not, Lord Shiva is not saying, "Hey, I want to see you in the impersonal Brahma Jyoti or even voidness." Because Buddhism, they have this voidness. No, the impersonalists or voidists also have to see the form of the absolute. In Buddhist temple, there is a form of Lord Buddha in meditation, isn't it? We see, yeah, big golden or nice huge Buddha who is always absorbed in meditation, but they are not worshipped like the forms of Lord in the Vaishnava temples, isn't it? Just imagine if you do a kirtan in Buddhist temple. Yeah. No, they have a gong. That gong makes the concentration suitable more for meditation.
No Abhishekam.
Nothing. They have this, of course, incense sticks. Yeah, that is also coming because the root is from Hinduism. But they are not worshipped like the form of Lord in Vaishnava temples, forms like Radha Krishna, Sita Ram, or Lakshmi Narayan. Amongst the different sampradayas, Vaishnava sects, either Radha Krishna or Lakshmi Narayan is worshipped. Very much, we very well know. Lord Shiva wants to see that form perfectly, just as the devotees want to see it. So this shows that Lord Shiva is saying, okay, when for example now we are going to a temple, we aspire that, hey, I would like to have the darshan of the Lord like you, because you have so much concentration, you have so much devotion. So Lord Shiva is saying, I want to see the form of the Lord which is most desired by the devotees. And the devotees doesn't desire all the other things. They desire only the simple Krishna, Radha Krishna, or we come to know there are two levels of devotees. Based on two levels of devotees, how they aspire to see the Lord. The word Swanam is especially significant because only the devotees are very, very dear to the Supreme Lord. Rupam Priyatam Swanam. They are aspiring Priyatam. That, Priya means dear, Priyatam means most dear. And the form of the Lord which is very dear for whom Swanam to the devotees is what Lord Shiva is asking, that he can have darshan. The Gyanis and Yogis and Karmis are not particularly dear, because Karmis simply want to see the Lord as their order supplier. Karmis says, I want this, I have a job, I want peace, I have problem, solve me this please. So it's all like we order the Lord, and the Lord has to fulfill our orders. So that's how people will karmis are. And then there is Gyanis want to see him to become one with him. And the yogis want to see him partially represented within their heart as Paramatma. But the devotees are eager to see how beautiful is the Lord, so that he can engage in the service of the Lord. Venum Konantam Aravinda Dalaya Taksham Barhavatam Sam Atisam Asitam Uda Sundarangam Kandarbha Koti Kamaniya Visesha Shobham. Kandarbha Koti. Kandarbha means Cupid. Kandarbha means Madan. Kandarbha Koti, not one, millions of them. It is said that the Lord, I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is adept at playing on his flute, Venum Kwanantam. And then Aravinda Dalaya Taksham, his eyes are blossoming like lotus petals. It is so nice if you see in early morning 7 hour sun, when sun rises. Just it is so soft texture of this lotus flower. Already lotus flower is beautiful, but when we see this rays fall, it makes a very so beautiful. The Lord's eyes are like that. And then whose head is bedecked with peacock feather, whose beauty is tinged with the hue of blue clouds, whose unique loveliness charms millions of cupids. So Krishna, we know Krishna is also called Madana Mohan. So even Madans, who is Cupid, is enchanted by the beauty of the Lord. So that is what devotees desire to see. Thus, Lord Shiva's desire is to see Supreme Lord as he described in this way. That is, he wants to see him as he appears to the Bhagavatas, the devotees. The conclusion is that Lord Shiva wants to see him in complete perfection, not in impersonalist or void way. Although Lord is one with his various forms, Advaitam, Achyutam, Anadim, Anantarupam, still his form as young enjoyer of the gopis and companion of the cowherd boys, which is his Kishora Murti, in his youth. For us, youth is only a moment. For him, youth is eternal. We see so many of us may want to have this, right? Oh, I don't want to get old. I'm trying that. I'm trying this. It's not working. I want to be always youthful. That propensity is coming. Why? Because our Lord is eternally youthful. How nice it is if we are eternally youthful. No, he is the master. We are servant. And in fact, we are also eternal. Yeah. After this body, next body, next body, next body, in this world or this next world or the spiritual world, we are also eternal. But we are only seeing that I am getting old. Why? Because I am having this body. And I think that because this body is deteriorating, I am also deteriorating. No, the Atma is not changing. If we close ourselves and think, who am I? I'm not going to think about myself with this white hair, or myself with bald head, or myself with no tooth, or no, all these things won't come. I'm still young. Why? Because we are eternal part and parcel of the Lord. But what is the perfection of darshanam is, that's why if you saw our temples, in that we see Radha Krishna, youthful. It's not like
Yes, like very
and very, very attractive. Krishna, the word, the name himself is all attractive. So is the most perfect form. Thus Vaishnavas accept the form of Lord in his Vrindavan pastimes as a chief form. And then the next verse is saying, the Lord's beauty resembles a dark cloud during the rain season, as the rain glistens, and his body features also glisten. Indeed, he is the sum total of all beauty. The Lord has forearms and exquisitely beautiful face with eyes like lotus petals and beautiful, highly raised nose, mind-attracting smile, a beautiful forehead, and equally beautiful and fully decorated eyes. So from these verses we see Lord Shiva is eager to have the darshan of the Lord in his Beautiful. When we talk about Shama Sundara, and the two, we are talking, he is describing what kind of form. And the Lord has 4 arms. And now, very interesting thing comes. Should we worship the Lord with 4 hands or 2 hands? Usually, as soon as when ISKCON is saying, hey, Krishna consciousness, they would say, hey, why not Vishnu consciousness? After all, you are called as Vaishnavas, right? And I don't know, anyone has this question? No one has this question? Anyone has this question?
Because ISKCON keeps Krishna as the supreme Puja.
Yeah, but then it should be not Vaishnavas, not Krishnavas. No? That is the question.
Yeah.
On one side, we are saying Krishna is supreme, but why are we Vaishnavas?
So in serving God, conserving Krishna, serving devotees, Vaishnavas.
Yeah, but why not? Because why we are saying Vaishnavas? Ajay Rasa Prabhu?
Maybe.
No one has this question. Is the question clear?
Yes, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I think it's because Lord Vishnu is same as Lord Krishna. We don't.
Say again.
Lord Vishnu and Lord Krishna are the same. So.
Yeah, when they are same, why not Krishnavas? This purport is helping us to understand this in a way. I mean, I'm just trying to put that question to make it interesting. Of course, it's telling that in Brahma Samhita, we have this Barhavasamtam Asitambuddha Sundarangam. He's the one who is having this peacock feather in his hair, and his bodily complexion is blackish cloud. All this is fine. Kandarbha Koti Kamaniya Visesha Shobham. He's so beautiful. Lord Shiva is trying to see the most opulent form of Narayan. And here we can start understanding, that there are 2 paths. There are 2 paths of engaging in the service of the Lord or worship. And this we can call as, we may have heard Pancharatra Vidhi, Narada Pancharatra Vidhi. Narada Muni has given a detailed explanation of how one can offer the services to the Lord. Shodasha Upacharas, you may have heard this. 16 offerings that one can give to the Lord. Shodasha, 6 plus 10. So that is Pancharatra Vidhi. Pancharatra Vidhi is telling how one should regulate his life in the deity worship. And why do we need that? Why do we need this regulated principles? Why do we need this regulation in the deity worship? Why do we need that?
To Krishna.
Ajay Prabhu, why do we need this all? When we go to a temple, we have this right. I don't know. Hemagori Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji, we tend to forget the form of the Lord. So deities are direct representation of the Lord. So we can serve better.
Okay. Yeah. Anything else? To forget ourselves.
Yeah, this is not.
And not to forget the Lord. Yeah. Okay. What else?
Let's be happy.
Yeah, but then you can always remember the Lord. No? That also will solve that problem. If I want to forget myself, I can just remember the Lord. I can forget in that. But because our senses are not purified, because we have not attained perfection in engaging or in surrendering to the Lord, we need some do's and don'ts. some discipline. If there are no do's and don'ts, we can do whatever we want and we will always miss and mess up. We miss the essence and we mess up our life. So we have this regulated life, isn't it? Yamagori Mataji. Otherwise, yeah, if there is nothing, we can get up anytime. We can do anything anytime. There is no hurry, full free. After all, we are given free will, freedom, right? So we need this regulated life so that we can elevate ourselves, our consciousness, that we can become real devotees. When we can become real devotees, when we are in devotees, I think some of you have already read Nectar of Devotion. In the Nectar of Devotion, there is all this. Sanatan Goswami Haribhakti Vilas is giving so many do's and don'ts, hundreds. It's telling what one should do, what one should not do, what if you do, what if you not do. So much detailed explanation is given. Like, okay, if you visit a temple, in front of the deities, how you should be. You can't shout, you can't cry, you can't scold. There are so many guidelines. We don't know all this. When we go into the temple, we'll have simple darshan, and then we just, because of not having such regulation applied in our life, we'll just do something and which is not right. So we definitely need what? A regulated worship in our devotion also. Otherwise, what will happen? We may do as per what I think is right, and there is a chance that is always wrong. This is what we talk about in this verse very nicely. And if we understand this one purport, I think there is so much. Prabhupada emphasizes that Lord Shiva is aspiring, oh Lord, you are so beautiful and all. And he's saying that four-armed form, where Lord Shiva is aspiring for what? To see the Lord's Vishnu Roop. Four hand. Yeah, here we see that, okay, generally the worship of the Lord begins with the worship of Lord Narayan or Vishnu, whereas worship of Lord Krishna and Radha is most confidential. So, worshipping Radha and Krishna is very confidential. So, if we talk about a general mass of all, one who is worshipping Vishnu, now you know, one who worships Krishna is very small because it's not normal, very, very confidential. Very few who really are in this mood and understanding the Vrindavan inhabitants, Prajavasis, they can appreciate that bhav of the Lord, of Radha Krishna. Otherwise, there are two kinds of bhav. One is loving relationship with the Lord, understanding Lord as our in one of these. Other one is Aishwarya bhav. Lord, hey, you are the supreme. Lord Vishnu, from you everything comes because you have the goddess of fortune. So, Lakshmi Narayan, oh Lord, all respects to you. There is this worship of Krishna as Dwarakadish. Dwaraka means he is the king of Dwaraka, Dwarakadish. So, means there are everyone. You know how a king is praised, right? They say, hey, you are that, you are this, you are this. So many glorification about his greatness. Whereas if you go to Vrindavan, there is nothing like that. They say, hey, you are just a Makanchor. You are stealing. Just imagine, this is what happened when Uddhava came from Dwaraka to Vrindavan and he saw, what is this? Total difference. Here we are thinking he is the Lord of everything. And here he's a thief. That he is sometimes tied to a mortar like Yashodama is tying. Can you imagine if someone is the Lord, will we dare to do it? No. So, worship of Radha Krishna is most confidential and it's not like everyone until we come to a level. This purport is very nice to give us understanding that there is this Pancharatra Vidhi, which means following all the rules and regulations, how to bathe the deities, what kind of arti we do. And while we are offering the arti, this is also a science in itself. Do we take the garland before we take a bath or after taking a bath? And if we carefully observe the arti when we are doing, we see the offering flower comes last. First comes Dup, then comes Deep, then comes what? Which means as soon as the Lord, when we wake him up, the procedure is like, okay, for all auspiciousness, whatever, we know this. Cow dung is burnt and then everything is done, right? And then there is this water, Arghyam is offered that may Lord take bath. After taking bath, what do? We dry up. That's why this vastram is there, and afterwards the vastram is offered. Please, these cloths. After the cloths are offered, then we offer what? Garland. After offering the garland, then we are offering chamar. So everything is, we can't just mix up like, okay, whatever is I can see, whatever is coming to hand, or okay, doesn't matter. After all, giving 16 items, whether one comes first or last, no, who are we? We don't know. So that's why it's very important that we take to this Pancharatra Vidhi, which is also called, what is it? Vaidhi Vidhi, to engage ourselves in the service of the Lord according to the regulations given by Pancharatra Sutra. Narada Pancharatra Sutra is giving how one can offer all these kinds of worship. And then, to whom are we doing that? Generally, the worship of Lord begins with worshipping Narayan or Vishnu. So, which means a neophyte devotee, a bhakta who is very new. When he is a new devotee, what he is doing is, does he understand the deepness of the mellows of Rasa Vigraha? Krishna is the personification of all the mellows. Come on, at the moment, it's difficult to understand what is this mellows. When we talk about Radhadesh mellows, when we talk about, we don't know what is this mellows we are talking. This mellows means the one who is from whom everything is oozing. This relationships, right? Whatever we are saying, these mellows are oozing. No, we can't appreciate. Best thing is, okay, Lord, you have given me everything. Thank you for that. And in exchange, I would like to offer you some service. So it is said that there is, when we are talking about first Pancharatra Vidhi, let's talk about that. This Pancharatra Vidhi is telling that one should lead a life of devotion based on the principles and guidance of Pancharatra Vidhi. Actually, neophyte devotees worship the Lord according to Pancharatra Vidhi. And if you saw in the altar in ISKCON temples, there is what is happening. The one who is in the Pujari, he is doing all one after the other, and he is following the Pancharatra Vidhi as a priest. But then there is also another. While this arti is going on, he is saying idam argyam, he is offering idam pushpam, he is saying idam dhupam, idam deepam. He is saying offering everything that is coming under Pancharatra Vidhi. Then there is also Bhagavad Vidhi in parallel happening. Prabhupada made us made it so accessible that though we are not neophyte, though we are not advanced devotees, what Prabhupada is saying is that Bhagavad Vidhi. Now we talk about that later. So Bhagavad Vidhi means to always engage in serving the Lord. We know this Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. So all those things are part of it. In that, when we talk about Archanam, is exclusive Pancharatra Vidhi. Remaining all is actually coming from Bhagavad Vidhi only. So what are we doing? We are singing Gaur Arati, we are singing Sandhya Arati, we are singing Mangal Arati. All these artists we are singing. The songs of great acharyas, what they have written, glorifying the Lord. So we are directly, when we are discussing and singing the glories of the Lord, that is called Bhagavad Vidhi. Why? Because it is based on Raga. We know there is Vidhi Marga, which is following the regulated life and engaging in the service of the Lord. And there is Raga. We know what is Raga? Raga means not the songs Raga. Raga means emotion. Bhita Raga, Bhaya Krodha. Raga means our inclination or attachment. That is Raga. So, Radha Krishna cannot be approached by neophyte devotees. Which means when we see Radha Krishna, they are very confidential, most confidential, and only for most confidential devotees they are accessible. They are not accessible for neophyte devotees, which means though we are entering into Radha Krishna temples, ISKCON has everywhere, we see not Lakshmi Narayan temples, we see everywhere Radha Krishna. And Prabhupada is saying, though a neophyte devotee, when he gets into a Radha Krishna temple, what is he doing is, when he's doing worship, he's worshipping actually Lakshmi Narayan. Why? Because we do not have the credibility that we have that genuine feelings, emotions, and also the bhav and raga. We don't have that. So that's why we are going through this process of sadhana bhakti, sadhana vidhi. We engage ourselves in chanting, we engage ourselves in all these processes, and then we qualify ourselves to become one day that we can directly serve Radha Krishna. Until then, what we are doing, though we are seeing they are Radha Krishna, we see them as Lakshmi Narayan and offer our praise to them until we come to purity. So it is said, actually neophyte devotees worship Lord according to Pancharatra Vidhi or regulative principles enjoined in Narada Pancharatra. Radha Krishna cannot be approached by neophyte devotee. Therefore, temple worship according to regulative principles is offered to Lakshmi Narayan. Although there may be a Radha Krishna Vigraha or the form, the worship of neophyte devotee is acceptable as Lakshmi Narayan worship. Lakshmi Narayan Vishnu. So, worship according to Pancharatra Vidhi is Vidhi Marga. As I said, Vidhi Marga. And worship according to the Bhagavat Vidhi is called Raga Marga. Yeah. The principles of Raga Marga are especially meant for devotees who are elevated to the Vrindavan platform. So one who is in the Raga Marga means he is so much understanding who is Krishna, who is Radha, what is their real relationship, which is very difficult to understand. It is very confidential. It is very confidential to understand Krishna. How can he become a Makanchar? How can he live the Govardhan hill? How can he manifest so many Brahmas? How can he manifest so many himself into calves? All so many Leelas, it's not so easy to understand. So the inhabitants of Vrindavan, the gopis, Mother Yashoda, Nanda Maharaj, cowherd boys, the cows and everyone else are actually on the Raga Marga or Bhagavat Marga platform. So when we talk about there are two vidhis, the second vidhi is exclusive for people who understand, devotees who understand the confidential nature of the Supreme Lord Krishna. They participate in 5 basic rasas: Dasya, Shanta, Sakhya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya. These are the 5 relationships one can engage in with the Lord. But the one who is in Vrindavan, they are not interested in other. They are. It is said is especially meant. Bhagavad Marg is especially meant for Vatsalya and Madhurya. So Bhagavad Vidhi means that they are interested in what? They are interested in serving the Lord, maybe either becoming their parents, or like, what do you call this? Father's brother, uncles, like that, so that they can protect Krishna. So that is the bhav. Yet there is Vipralamba Sakhya. Sakhya, when we are talking about what is Sakhya, friendship. Again, in Sakhya, there are 2 levels. Sakhya, the friendship of Krishna and Arjuna, is lower compared to the friendship between Krishna and cowherd boys. Krishna and cowherd boys is different. Why? In purport, Prabhupada is saying that in the case of Krishna and Arjuna, we see in the Kurukshetra, what happened is that he took, hey, you are the master, you are my supreme. Whereas cowherd boys, for them, they see him as a friend to play. However, the cowherd boys who are friends of Krishna and Vrindavan sometimes ride on the shoulder of Krishna. Ride on the shoulder. They treat Krishna equally, just as they treat one another. And they are never afraid of him. nor do they ever beg his pardon. Krishna, you are great. No, nothing. Thus, in the Raga Marga or Bhagavat Marga, friendship exists on a higher platform with Krishna, namely Vishrambha friendship. And parental friendship, parental service, and conjugal service are visible in Vrindavan Raga Marga relationship. Without serving Krishna, according to Vidhi Marga, regulative principles of Pancharatra, unscrupulous persons want to jump immediately to Raga Marga. I was saying, when we don't know who is the Lord, when we don't know our relationship, we may try to create our own way of worshipping, our own way of serving the Lord, which is very dangerous. Why? Because when we don't know, without serving Krishna properly, when we don't know how to serve him properly, or when we are not doing it, no, I have seen that this person, when he sits, he is crying for Krishna. When I may cry for Krishna, yeah, we may have this, yeah, when we are not purified, having this can only danger us, because in Vrindavan we may sometimes see that a man dresses himself like a gopi, and then he is going around and thinking that, hey, he's one of the gopis of Krishna just by changing dress. How can one become gopi? Such persons are called sahajiyas. Sahajiya means they are also demons who enjoy depicting Krishna and his pastime with gopi, taking advantage of Krishna by their licentious character. Means there are also some people now, hey, I am so great because people are coming to me, and if whatever I tell, they will accept it. So there are people who are like that. These demons, Prabhupada is writing, who print books and write lyrics on Raga Marga principles are surely on the way to hell. They say, oh, Madhurya, they know basically some nice rhyming, poetic way, and they are crossing the limits of what one should be. When we approach Lord, one can't simply loosely tell, hey, some great Goswamis themselves, though they have direct bhav for Krishna and Radharani, they say that I am Rupanugas, Raganugas. I am servants of Rupa Manjari, who is indeed servant of Radharani. They are not saying, hey, I can become like Rupa or I can become like Radha. No. They are just aspiring that I want to become servant of you. Unfortunately, they lead others down with them. Devotees in Krishna consciousness should be very careful to avoid such demons. This is very important when we are going to the pilgrims, especially when we go to Vrindavan. We may have, oh, you see this, oh, great, wow, when he's singing, we are getting tears, when he's doing, we are getting touched. I think no, we have to be very careful. Our way is Vidhimarg. Even if such great exalted persons are there, Prabhupada, he never exhibited that great, that I am this, I am that. He just said, I am servant, I am dog of my Lord. So, one should strictly follow the Vidhi Marga, regulative principles in worship of Lakshmi Narayan, although the Lord is present in the temple of Radha Krishna. Radha Krishna includes Lakshmi Narayan. Therefore, when one worships the Lord according to the regulative principle, the Lord accepts the service in the role of Lakshmi Narayan. So, though we are seeing Radha Krishna, though we are worshipping Radha Krishna, our services are accepted as long as we are following the Vidhi Marg is in the form of Lakshmi Narayan. Therefore, when one worships Lord according to the regulated principles, Lord accepts the service. The nectar of devotion, full instructions are given about the Vidhi Marga, Vidhi, worship of Radha Krishna or Lakshmi Narayan. Although there are 64 kinds of offenses one can commit in Vidhi Marg, in Raga Marg there is no consideration of such offenses because the devotees on that platform are very much elevated and there is no question of offense. So, as long as when we are doing our devotion and we are committing offenses, we need to understand that we need to still purify, we need to still improve, we need to still attain perfection. Then we can come to the Raga Marga, and in Raga Marga we can attain Krishna's love and engage in his service. In this description, Krishna's beauty, Lord Shiva uses the word Charvayata Chaturbhuja Sujata Ruchiranam, indicating the beautiful four-armed form of Narayan. Those who worship Lord Krishna describe him as Sujata Ruchirananam. In Vishnu Tattva, there are hundreds and thousands and millions of forms of Lord Vishnu, Supreme Lord. But of all these forms, the form of Krishna is the most beautiful. Thus, for those who worship Krishna, the word Sujata Ruchirananam is used. The four arms of Lord Vishnu have different purposes. What is that Lord Vishnu has in the four arms? Shankha, Chakra, Gada,
Lotus.
Yeah. Two are for the devotees and two are for the demons. Club and Chakra are to punish the demons. And Lotus and
Shankha.
Lotus and
Shankha.
Shankh. Yeah. We know that Shankh, Vedas come from his Shankh. So they are, actually all of the Lord's arms are auspicious, whether they are holding conch shell and flower or club or disc. The demons killed by Lord Vishnu's chakra and club are elevated to the spiritual world. If a demon, we see that, which means if one comes in contact with Krishna as a devotee or a non-devotee, then his life is blessed. But there is a subtle difference, because in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Dharmaraj, Yudhishthir Maharaj is asking, what is the dealings of Lord? It's very difficult to understand. Is he partial or not partial? And in that connection, here we see that the demons, if they are killed in the hands of Vishnu, they are also attaining good result. What is that? The demons killed by Lord Vishnu's chakra are also elevated to spiritual world, just like devotees who are protected by the hands holding the lotus flower and conch shell. So, what is a devotee attaining? Spiritual world. What is a demon attaining? Spiritual world. However, the demons who are elevated to the spiritual world are situated in the impersonal Brahma Jyoti, whereas the devotees are allowed to enter into Vaikuntha planets. Those who are devotees of Lord Krishna are immediately elevated to Golok Vrindavan. The Lord's beauty, that is what this purport is so nice, because it also gives us that how the mood of Goswamis is there. We don't want to become Sahajiyas. We don't want to get trapped. We want to follow the Vidhi Marga. One fine day, by seeking the blessings of Goswamis, we follow in their path. And if Krishna want to manifest, it's up to him. But what we should do, it's not like I want to grab it. If Lord gives it, I'm happy to take it. Usually it's we are in this world, we always have the tendency to grab. So here it says that similar, as mentioned in the Shad Goswami Stotra, Dhira Dhira, Dhira Dhira Janapriyo, Krishna and Goswamis, there is little difference. It says, Lord Krishna was not very pleasing to the demons when he was present in Vrindavan. But the 6 Goswamis were pleasing the demons who, when they were present in Vrindavan. That is the beauty of Lord dealing with his devotees. So what happens is, Dhira Dhira Janapriya. So Goswamis, they were all merciful for everyone. Even if someone is a demon, they are merciful. Even if someone is a devotee, they are merciful. They didn't have any partiality. Krishna has partiality. What is the partiality? He says, I'm impartial, but okay, if devotees are doing something to me, I have to reciprocate. No, Goswamis, even when Jagai Madai, they hurt Nityananda Prabhu, what did they do? What did Nityananda Prabhu say? No, don't kill him. Don't. Chaitanya, he stopped Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That is the beauty of Lord's dealing with his devotees. Sometimes the Lord gives more credit to his devotees than he takes for himself. So, for instance, on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Lord Krishna fought simply by giving directions. He didn't even lifted a weapon. Yet, it was Arjuna who took the credit for fighting. Nimitta matram bhava Savyasachin. You, O Sabyasachi, can be but an instrument in the fight. Everything was arranged by the Lord, but the credit of victory was given to his devotee. Similarly, in the Krishna consciousness movement, everything is happening according to the predictions of Lord Chaitanya, but the credit goes to Lord Chaitanya's sincere servants. Till how many verses you read? 53, right?
53.
I think we'll stop here because other purports are also very nice. It glorifies the, or we could just go briefly because other things are little glorifications of the Lord's form. The Lord is super excellently beautiful on account of his open and merciful smile. When we see the wonderful deities that the sculptures make, I'm really touched how they can feel that and make this. And his sidelong glance upon his devotees. In Vrindavan, there is a Baki Bihari temple, where Krishna doesn't see directly. So usually what we do, we go into the temple and then we are readily waiting to see, right? But it is said in this Baki Bihari temple, Krishna is not seeing. He is just seeing in from the side. Sometimes this side, sometimes this side. The Murti. That's why the pujaris, they close the curtain, open the curtain, close the curtain, open the curtain. Yeah. Side glance upon his devotees. His black hair is curly, his garments waving in the wind appear like flying saffron pollen from lotus flower. His glittering earrings, shining helmet, bangles, garlands, all. And he has this Kaustuba pearl on his chest. According to and yeah, maybe we'll skip this, which is also a detail. Like when we are saying if someone has a shankha, chakra, or gadar, all this, that person is not ordinary. It is said, according to the palmistry, the signs of conch shell, club, lotus flower, and disc mark the palms of great personalities and especially indicate the supreme personality of Godhead. So that's what, as soon as when someone is born or when the birth chart and all, they see what are the signs they have to see, to understand his great personality. Yeah. There's whole explanation about his form, his abdomen. The lower part of Lord's waist is dark and covered with yellow garments and a belt bedecked with golden embroidery work. His symmetrical lotus feet. Actually, the next two verses, you read till 53, na? 52, 53 are very nice. Maybe I'll open that next week, which we are. This verse is appetizer for that. The lower part of Lord's waist is dark and covered with yellow garments and belt bedecked with golden embroidery work. His symmetrical lotus feet and the calves, thighs, and joints of his legs are extraordinarily beautiful. Indeed, the Lord's entire body appears to be well built. All the essence of all this description from top to bottom is said here. Lord Shiva is one of the 12 great Mahajans who are there. Swayambhuvamanu, Narada, Shambhu, Kumara, Kapila Muni, Prahlada, Janaka, Bhishma, Bali, and Vaisakhi. Vaisakhi means Sukadev Goswami. Yeah. They and Yamaraj. So all these are 12 Mahajans. The impersonalists who generally worship Lord Shiva should learn of the transcendental Satchit Ananda Vigraha of the Lord. Here, Lord Shiva kindly describes the details of Lord's beautiful feature, all the bodily features. Thus, the impersonalist argument that Lord has no form cannot be accepted under any circumstance. And next verses, next week, we'll start this going through the glories of his lotus feet. Yeah, I'll stop here. Thank you very much. Any questions or anything you want to share, add? Others on the forum? Yeah. Any questions here also?
I think with regards to the form, it was very similar to what was there in Vishnu Sahasranam. It was very beautiful. And you said like people came from Dwaraka to Vrindavan and they were not able to relate the different forms. So something similar to that is like in Ramayana, we know Lord Rama was depicted from his birth till end. That was Ramayana. But in Mahabharata, I think Krishna's entry comes in when Arjuna comes to marry Draupadi. That's when there's the introduction of Krishna and Balaram. So
no.
Childhood is also.
Yeah. The childhood description is completely depicted. Yeah. But again, when we see about Ramayana and Mahabharata, they are itihasas. Of course, Ramayana they called Mahakavya and Mahabharata they called as itihas. And when we talk about Bhagavatam, is Mahapuran. In Bhagavatam, whole 10th canto is describing all Leelas. Yeah. And that is also one reason why when we talk 9th canto of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is very, very small. In the 9th canto, about Lord Ram's pastimes are just 3 chapters or even, very less.
Okay.
Whereas when we talk about Krishna, right from his birth or even before, everything is Sukadev Goswami. Yeah, that's how we can see as one of the 12 Mahajans, right? Sukadev Goswami. Yeah. I think.
And from a timeline, Bhagavatam was before Mahabharata was.
No. After. When Janamejaya.
That it's snake.
Yeah. Takshaka. I mean, of course, Janamejaya comes later, but he is having this vengeance because Parikshit Maharaj. Parikshit Maharaj.
Was killed by
so his grandson takes up this challenge that there should not be any snake.
Yes.
So he does a big fire sacrifice and invites all the snakes. That is next. But after Parikshit Maharaj entry is already, when he is getting cursed, it's already end of Dwapar Yuga.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Krishna.
Prabhuji, thank you for explaining today this. One question comes to my mind, like because our senses are not pure, we normally for the neophytes we recommend not to directly worship Radha and Krishna because we don't appreciate the things because of our impure senses. And then we rather prefer a more regulated way of worshipping Lord Vishnu or Narayan. In a more formal way. So is that the recommendation, like maybe for neophytes, maybe they can rather worship Narsimhadev or Lord Vishnu, Narayan in a more regulated way? Or is it okay to worship Krishna?
Yeah. So what we do is we just follow what is as per the nectar of devotion when the Goswamis are saying, where if you carefully read the nectar of devotion, this telling about the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that we should still have this understanding that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. We may not be understanding his bhav, we may not be understanding our position. We should understand that Krishna is the cause of all causes. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And when we say Supreme, Supreme is already telling what? Highest position, right? When we talk about Krishna in Dwarka, what is his? Supreme. He is Supreme King, right? So he is highest. So we have this as part of devotion when we are practicing our own devotion, because we are not purified. We need blessings. We can, of course, when we are going to Radha Krishna, we are approaching Radharani. So we are asking, praying, Radharani, please help us. So that should continue. It's not like, okay, no. When we are serving the deities, we should not just think that I am any and I can do any kind of service. There is this Pancharatri Vidhi which is there to worship, deity worship. Now we should follow those rules and regulations. Apart from that, when we are meditating through the process of chant, I didn't cover that part in that purport. There is this Bhagavat Vidhi. In Bhagavat Vidhi, what is happening is we are approaching directly Krishna, and one of the processes is what? Let me see if that is here. Maybe I concluded that soon. Just checking. About 18. Everything is complete. Krishna, everything is happening according to predictions of what credit goes to Lord Chaitanya. I think it is in one of these two or three purports. It is mentioned that sound vibration. I think that is going to come later, or I don't know if it is already in one of these purports, says
No, it's in the
that
42 or 43 purport, Prabhuji. Yeah, it's about chanting, no?
Acha, it is said, na, chanting of the holy name.
Yeah, it says the
Yeah.
vacha is very
So,
important.
which means, yes, vacha is very important, and vacha, there are two meanings, and one meaning is also vibration, and that vibration means chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra. Correct?
Yes,
Yeah.
Prabhuji. That's what.
And when we are taking to Hare Krishna mantra, we are, it's not like, okay, we are worshipping in the form of Lakshmi Narayan. Yeah. It is not like that. When we are following the deity worship, we definitely are taking the support of this regulated life, regulated principles. When we are doing the japa, we are directly approaching Krishna. Again, in this also, we are approaching Radharani, and there is all this. But what Prabhupada made it accessible for us is we can venture into regulated japa, right? So when we are in offensive japa, we are still have to take support of regulations. And once we come to the next, when there is this sadhana bhakti, there is bhava bhakti, there is prema bhakti. So when we talk about bhava bhakti, what is bhava bhakti is coming, sorry, in the sadhana bhakti, there is Vaidhi sadhana bhakti, and then there is the ragatmika bhakti, raganuga bhakti. We can think of raganuga bhakti, which is part of Vaidhi sadhana bhakti. Raganuga bhakti means by seeing other devotees who have this ragatmika symptoms, which is having bhav for the Krishna, we just follow them. We can't just take it over and they say, hey, I'm also having the symptoms. In the regulated life, we may get some dints of such experiences, which we call as abhas. When we chanting, na, sometimes we feel, oh, chanting is so nice, so nice. That is abhas, which means we are not yet purified, but we are getting, by the blessings of the Lord, some great effect of it. And coming back to your question, okay, sure. Yes, we can approach. Yeah, here also we see in one of the purports, Prabhupada is saying, yeah, if you go to Lord Shiva's temple, yeah, please go and pray that you can get Krishna Bhakti. Yeah, when you worship Nrsingadev, yeah, Nrsingadev is none other than Vishnu, Nrsingadev is none other than Krishna. But what may happen is we may not, we may have to understand that in Bhagavatam it is said, Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Yeah. Yeah. Lord and Lakshmi Narayan, they are worshipped so that they can bless something. We can worship Lord Nrsimhadev. He blesses us protection. We take shelter ultimately to do what? To serve Radha and Krishna. Yeah, you're getting it?
Yes, Prabhuji, it is clear. So the ultimate objective is to serve Radha Krishna.
Yeah. So that's why our aim should be to go into the Bhagavad Vidhi, which means have that genuine feeling, not artificial feeling. But to get that genuine situation, we need to engage in ourselves regulated, taking support of, yeah, as you said, yeah, protection, as said, of Lakshmi Narayan, because they are one who is accepting our services as per the Pancharatri Vidhi, what we are offering. But for Krishna, Radha and Krishna, it's more, they are not into this. They're more in Bhagavad Vidhi, Raga. We see that how japa of Narottam Das Thakur, we see how japa of Lokanath Goswami, we see how Rupa Goswami, how he could see Radharani and all, right? Do we see that they are in the Pancharatri Vidhi?
No, they are
No.
more into Raganuga, the
Yes.
Bhava Bhakti, no?
Yes.
Bhava Krishna Prem. Yeah.
Yeah. So Chaitanya, and this is what it makes little different from Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya and Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. Because in Sri Sampradaya, we see emphasis, of course, there is Nagar Sankit and all these things, which is Bhagavad Vidhi, but it's, if we say, dominant by regulated way of Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, which means regulated, which means all these 16 upacharas are performed. There is this. So everything is part of it, so that they come to this. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he gave also Bhagavad Gita also, Sankirtan, if you do, everything will be taken care. Because ultimately, what is chanting does? It purifies us. Huh? So, in that way, yeah, we have access to this. Because when we talk about Pancharatra Vidhi, not everyone can do. One has to get second initiated, isn't it? One has to become a Brahmin. Only a Brahmin can engage in this whole. No, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving subtle that everyone can engage, and that to the sublime, topmost. Only thing is, while we are doing it, make sure that we purify ourselves. Yeah, when we chant properly, so that offenses are not there, we are getting purified, and we're getting purified, then we can engage in service of Lord. And we see so many examples. Haridas Thakur, right? Haridas Thakur is a Mlecha. Yeah, he is coming from a Muslim birth. We can see what happened. Yeah, he became a great devotee. Yeah, clear, Ram Raghav Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you very
Okay.
much.
Yeah, thank you. Other questions? Okay, then thank you very much.
Prabhuji.
Yes.
Sorry. Yeah, it was nice part of Bhagavatam. Yeah, the beauty of the Lord and everything was very nice. Probably about these, Arjuna and Sakhas.
Yeah.
You said Arjuna Sakha is their higher taste they have or higher level. But how? Because Sakhas they born, they lived. Yeah, so from the birth of the Lord, they live together, so they can play and they did everything. Arjuna did not born in Vraja and with Lord, and he did not perform that pastime
Yeah.
together.
Hmm.
So it is
So,
ultimately the Lord who decides, or
see, it is that we can still see that Krishna and Arjuna are related, right? Yeah, they are also relatives. Yeah, Queen Kunti and Vasudeva. In that way, we can see there is a relationship, and then which means it's not like okay, they would also go. Then you can also see there's so much. The, on one side, Arjuna is a Kshatriya, and other side, Krishna, though is a Kshatriya because he is taken care in Nanda Maharaj, he is a Vaishya. So many things are there. Yeah, and when we talk about friends, yeah, we don't have friends of only one, the best, right? You only have few best friends, and remaining are okay, next level friends, and the next is far friends. And yeah, it is said that one who aspires to be in this mellow of Sakhya, and that too, which kind of Sakhya? It is said Vipralamba. It's called Vishramba. These are two levels of friendship. Yeah. I mean, I do not know exactly in whether I think it should be in the matter of devotion only, but I have to read and confirm, which gives us more details about within one how many varieties. No, I don't know if it is in that. I think Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur gives us there's different grades of Sakhya. Yeah. And the question as you asked, na, did Krishna choose or did Arjuna choose? Right? It is indeed the devotee is choosing, but it's not so easy. It is very rare because it is said one who becomes a devotee means then he can purchase the Lord. That's what it means. Means we see in Vrindavan what happens. When they want to make fun of Krishna, they dress him like a girl, like a gopi. Yeah? You remember this Dhanakeli pastime?
yes, Prabhuji.
After he was caught, then he said, "Hey, you are teasing us now. They will tie. They make him dress like a girl, and then you say, now you carry the pot." where Krishna is surrendering to his beloved there. And this is not happening everywhere. To the degree, to the completeness as it happens in Vrindavan. Which means that's why it said it's very, very rare. One has to do great it said devotion, and then one can get, if they aspire, then they can get.
So the love of Vrindavan is rare.
Topmost. Very rare.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay, thank you very much. Jagalparabhyascha kripasindhubhyo cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Grantha Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna Prabhu.
Thank you.